I didn't want to get with a white woman because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan Majors.
There you go. See, come on, Katt.
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not gonna act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends.
Do you think it was a coincidence that everybody was warning Shannon Sharpe about messing with them white chicks? First, Katt Williams tried to warn him, then Monique, now Terrence Howard's backing him up. And Shannon Sharpe's entire life is falling apart right in front of our eyes. Was this just bad choices, or was Shannon set up by the same machine that's destroyed so many black men before him? Katt Williams, Monique.
It's different now. Than when you and I...
It's different, baby. I'm grateful I'm not 56 and trying.
What you trying to say? What you trying to say? Mo?
I'm looking right at you.
I know you looking at me.
I ain't backing down. You better take your old ass and get somebody to love you.
Damn, Mo.
Now I'm looking right at y'all. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs.
Let me
tell you what my baby needs. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay, and gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon needs. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl.
I do.
This is your auntie talking to you. Take your old ass and get you an old out there that can love you old.
Let me tell you something about how the industry works. Celebrities have teams, publishers, PR reps, agents, managers, and these people don't just work for one client. They work with dozens of big names across industries. And guess what? They talk. Behind closed doors, they hear things, they see patterns, and they warn their clients. So when you see someone like Monique or Katt Williams publicly warning Shannon Sharpe to be careful about getting caught up with these young white women, they weren't just being old school or paranoid. They were doing what the industry does behind closed doors, sending a warning that something was about to go down. But when you don't listen, when you think you're untouchable, and when powerful black men start moving too freely, stepping too loud, the industry doesn't just punish you. They make an example of you. And it always looks like it came out of nowhere. But it didn't. It never does. Well, now we have Shannon Sharpe, who could be facing jail time if things don't go his way. And he's also now out here saying that black men are being targeted.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm gonna be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys.
Which is exactly the kind of trap Katt's been screaming about for years. Remember, Katt wasn't just running his mouth, he's lived it. Katt's been saying for decades that Hollywood sets up black men to fail. I mean, in 2013, Katt Williams did an interview with Black Tree TV about his role in Scary Movie 5, and he went into very deep details about how Hollywood elites effeminate black men to weaken them.
At the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him. So now we have Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I've never seen Medea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses.
Back in 2012, Katt said that he'd been arrested 36 times in 36 months. And the fact that he had never been side of a court of law proved that law enforcement was on a witch hunt. In addition, somehow, law enforcement always used his kids against him. And there was even a time when the police took his kids from his office, and Katt said that he found it insulting that they would go to his office and take his kids from him like he's the most terrible human being. At the time, the police said that Katt had endangered his kids, and while he admitted to having weed, he said there were no substances in the house, and the firearms he had were secured, and they were for his kids' protection. Remember, he had also been arrested so many times to the point to where Katt was pushed to announce his retirement because it was now becoming too dangerous for him and his kids, who he didn't want to lose. When Katt Williams warned Shannon Sharpe, he wasn't just speaking from anger. He was speaking from experience. And now he's not the only one sounding the alarm. Other black men are stepping up and calling out the setup too, including Terrence Howard, who's been one of the most loudest voices about how Hollywood breaks black men who don't play by the rules. If you thought Katt's warning was serious, wait until you hear what Terrence had to say. See, Terrence Howard didn't just back Katt Williams. He broke down the entire playbook Hollywood uses to crush black men. In an interview with Revolt, he exposed how the industry twists the image of black men, making them weak and effeminate and non-threatening, while letting white men stay strong. Terrence said it best. Most men are made to be effeminate and not have their power or sense of strength. They allow white men to be strong, but when it's black men, it's seen as a threat. I don't want to remove a few chromosomes just to fit into someone else's story. And according to Terrence, the brothers who play along, they survive. The ones who stand tall, the ones like Shannon Sharpe, they get crushed. And you know what? Other than Terrence and Katt, other black men have been screaming about this for years, but the industry just laughed it off. Dave Chappelle called it out, how black men are thrown into dresses, stripped of strength, turned into punchlines. Black men like Martin Lawrence, Eddie Murphy, Jamie Foxx, Ving Rhames, Wesley Snipes, Tyler Perry, Kevin Hart, and even Chris Rock. One after another. Different paths, same trap. If you don't fold, they break you. And if you do, you level up, irrespective of your talent. We even had Kanye West defending Diddy because he believes that black men in Hollywood are indeed set up to fail. And now the trap around Shannon Sharpe is closing, and whoever he crossed, they're making sure he feels it. Like, all of his skeletons are finally coming out to play, and it's not looking good for him at all. Sources revealed that during his time co-hosting FS1's Undisputed from 2016 to 2023, Shannon was accused of choking a female production assistant. The incident never became a public lawsuit. It was quietly buried with a private settlement worth hundreds of thousands of dollars with Fox Sports, but Sharpe's representatives denied the choking claim, stating it was a playful interaction. And it gets even worse. Michelle Evans, a woman who claims she was involved with Shannon for almost a decade, filed a lawsuit in 2023, accusing him of violence non-consensual acts after their relationship went sour. She says Shannon forced himself on her, humiliated her, and threatened to destroy her reputation to keep her silent. Well, Sharpe once again denied the allegations and even released a statement saying, "It should be of no surprise that when someone famous is in the news, all sorts of people crawl out of the woodwork to share their connection to that person in an attempt to profit from that alleged relationship. In many cases, those stories or accusations are nothing more than old news, fanciful exaggerations, or sometimes blatant misrepresentations of fact." And all of this is a ripple effect, fueled by a new bombshell lawsuit filed by Gabriela Zuniga, who alleged that Shannon took advantage of her more than once. And now the accusations, secret recordings, and ugly details are leaking everywhere. Shannon, for his part, is denying everything, calling it blackmail, calling it a shakedown, insisting it was all consensual. He even said that the accuser presented a heavily edited and secretly recorded video to support her narrative, while refusing to hand over the full version to Shannon Sharpe's legal team. They also pointed to explicit text messages allegedly sent by Gabriela that indicated enthusiastic consent and participation in fantasies, and that the evidence paints a clear picture. This was a consensual adult relationship that included role-playing, intimate language, and fantasy scenarios. He even offered Gabriela a $10 million settlement just to keep things quiet, but she walked away from that deal. And now Shannon says she's just another woman trying to exploit him, just like Michelle Evans. He claims it's all about revenge after he refused to father her child. Shannon still maintains that from the onset, he has been crystal clear about the nature of his relationship with Gabriela, which is why they engaged in a consensual relationship over a 2-year period. According to Sharpe, when she learned that he would not father a child with her, she resorted to extortion. And while Shannon was willing to pay her a substantial amount of money to avoid the intimate details of his personal life from being exposed, as many high-profile individuals often do when they are being threatened, that is no longer the case. business. Well, his recent statement also adds that while Sharpe is stepping away from ESPN, he plans to return to the network for the 2025 football season. Apparently, for the avoidance of any doubt, Shannon Sharpe was not terminated by ESPN, but he has elected to step away for a temporary period of time from his duties so that he can focus on his family and the frivolous claim filed against him. At this point, it's not even a question of if, it's how hard they're trying to bring Shannon Sharpe down. Because when powerful black men start winning too loud, moving too freely, or stepping outside the lines they've been assigned, the industry machine moves quickly. Suddenly, the same environment that welcomed you with open arms turns into a trap. And when OGs like Monique and Katt Williams, or even Terrence, throw out warnings, it's not random. They've seen this play out too many times before. There have actually been rumors that for Shannon, all this could end up in an arrest, because once the machine sets you up, it finishes the job. Let me know what you think. Was Shannon reckless, or was he marked for destruction from the start?